Ladies and gentlemen, for the last couple of months, Pakistan appeared to be cozying up to the United States, and Donald Trump in particular. Shehbaz Sharif shared the stage with the US President on the board of peace, and Pakistan desperately tried to make itself look like a close ally of the United States with their meetings at the White House. But today, a significant statement that has come in from US Ambassador to India, Sergio Gor, has completely quashed the narrative that Pakistan wanted the world to believe. In his first visit to Jammu and Kashmir, the United States ambassador took a very clear stand on Kashmir. Sergio Gor made Washington's position crystal clear. Kashmir is an important part of India, he said. He made the remark after meeting Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah in Srinagar. His remarks come during his two-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, making the visit particularly significant amidst the evolving strategic developments in the region.
As everybody here knows, I'm the U.S. Ambassador to India, and this is an important part of India, and so I'm here visiting for the first time. It is an incredibly beautiful place, and so I'm thrilled to be here, thrilled to see this place. We just had a very good meeting, and we have some follow-ups that we hope to take back to Washington, back to Delhi, but a very warm, a very cordial, and we look forward to building this relationship forward. The last thing I'll share with you is the United States puts out travel warnings, and every so often we reevaluate those travel warnings. I cannot make any big announcements here today, but it is something we're going to look at. New Delhi, the Chief Minister here, the government here, we believe have made some incredible steps to keeping this area safer and making it more safe. And so we will be looking at if the travel warning that is imposed, that is recommended by the United States, is something that should be downgraded, because, as I said earlier, this is a beautiful area.
Now, the visit of the US ambassador to Kashmir in itself assumes immense significance, and the timing is even more critical. Here's why Sergio Gor's visit is not only significant for India, but is something that must have made Pakistan sweat. It's the first standalone trip by US ambassador since abrogation of Article 370. There have been other trips, but they've been part of delegations. It's also the first visit of top US diplomat after Operation Sindhu, and the Galwan clashes have taken place. Sergio Gor also serves as Trump's special envoy for South and Central Asia. So he's significant for the entire region, not just for India. Now, this is, of course, as far as Sergio Gor is concerned, and this comes amidst the growing US proximity to Pakistan vis-a-vis Iran and the Nobel Peace Prize pitch that has been made. It's only the second time in 15 years that US ambassador has met the elected Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. We must also remember that the United States has always tried to keep Kashmir at a distance and has always maintained that they do not want to get involved. Donald Trump has tried to change that a few months ago, and here's how. Earlier, we had seen statements coming in that Kashmir is a bilateral issue between India and Pakistan. However, during Operation Sindhu, Trump deviated from the earlier stance. Earlier, we have also seen during how Operation Sindhu saw Trump, in fact, work, or at least claim that he's working for a solution. India had rebuffed that offer. Pakistan, however, welcomed that offer. Now, Pakistan's pretense of acting like a close ally of the United States has completely fallen flat. Their desperate actions over the last few months have cut no ice with the Americans. Here's what we're talking about. One, Pakistan backed Trump's nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. Trump hosted Munir even at the White House twice in 2025. Pakistan has also hosted mediation talks between US and Iran, which eventually flopped. Trump had praised Pakistan's alliance with Saudi and Turkey. This is Pakistan's defense alliance, which has been a concern for India. And Shehbaz Sharif had backed Trump's claim of stopping the India-Pakistan war. He called Trump a savior of South Asia and a man of peace. None of this appears to have helped when it comes to Kashmir, however. Now there's a completely rattled Pakistan which has responded to the US ambassador's statement, and Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has now summoned the US Charge d'Affaires in Islamabad. Let's go across to my colleague Akanksha Swaroop joining us for more on this. Akanksha, this is a completely rattled Pakistan which has been completely gobsmacked by the US ambassador, not just the US ambassador to India, but the special envoy for South Asia, making such an emphatic claim that this is not just an integral, but an important part of India?
Absolutely, Madhav. In fact, the last time I remember they summoned the US Charge d'Affaires was under the Imran Khan government, which had a fallout with the US when he had accused the United States of, in fact, conniving to have him out of power. And this time around, especially after Operation Sindhu, the tables have completely turned. Because till Operation Sindhu, in fact, till days ago, when the US president, remember, endorsed that defense pact between Pakistan, Turkey, and we had Shehbaz Sharif, in fact, going on record to again sharp praises on the US president. Again, we are seeing the Pakistanis have referred to, the mediating on Kashmir. But the damage has already been done as far as Pakistan is concerned. And I just want to quickly insert what the External Affairs Minister has had to say. He said that as far as Kashmir is concerned, it's the longest standing dispute. It was an invasion by Pakistan, and this belongs to India. And that UN need not make it into a dispute.
All right. Thanks so much for the quick update there. Akanksha Swarup joining us for that breaking story. Let's quickly open this up and take it across to our guest now joining us. With us is Dr. Anand Raghunathan, author. Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, former GSC of 15 Corps of the Indian Army, is with us. We also have Atikur Rahman, Professor of International Relations of Pakistan. Joining us at the moment also is Raja Faisal, who's a Pakistan journalist. Atikur Rahman, rather unusual to see the US Charge d'Affaires being summoned there by Pakistan. Clearly, these comments of Sergio Gor seem to have stirred up a hornet's nest.
I think let him provide the statement is issued, and we are very much concerned.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you very clearly, Atikur Rahman. I apologize for the poor connection. We're going to try and reconnect with you, but let me take that question across to Raja Faisal. Raja Faisal, clearly the statements of Sergio Gor have not gone down well with Pakistan. They appear to have created a massive controversy there, embarrassing Pakistan.
Well, I think Pakistan's step is to figure out whether this statement coming from Sergio Gor is a slip of tongue or there is a clear change in policy of US regarding Pakistan and India. Reason being, if we take the recent example of the statements coming from the Oval Office as well as the Washington itself, they have been, of course, regarding Kashmir, that Kashmir is a burning conflict between Pakistan and India. So that is why the envoy in Islamabad, she was summoned and she was, of course, handed with a demarche. And that would be, of course, reciprocated to Pakistan in terms of a reply.
Raja Faisal, you may think it's burning. We are very clear that we have a government over there. And how could it be a slip of tongue? If he's saying the meeting, after coming out and meeting the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, how on earth is it a slip of tongue?
That's obviously, Sergio himself will come up with a clarification tomorrow, because Pakistan is seeking a clarification from the American side. An American spokesperson, I'm waiting for the statement coming from the American spokesperson, and I'm pretty much sure that today there will be a statement from the American side clarifying American position on this, because they can't go against the resolutions of United Nations. Resolution of United Nations 47 clearly says...
Sir, neither the US nor the UN cares about Pakistan's position. I think that's very clear, quite evident from what Sergio Gor has said. No one from the US has even broached the subject or the demands of Pakistan. Let me bring in Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey on that. Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, whatever others may wax eloquent about what UN has stated, the fact is that US has given a very clear and unequivocal message. It's not every day that you have a US ambassador going to Jammu and Kashmir, and certainly not every day that the ambassador says that this is not just an integral, but an important part of India, which is one step further.
Yeah, so Madhav, I think firstly, my hello to all the panelists. Everybody is entitled to their respective views, but internally within India, I think there is no validation which is required from Sergio Gor or anybody else. We totally know that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of our country. Not only the territory, but our people are also part of our country from 1947 onwards. There are some who have been left behind in occupied territories. Time shall come for that also, because the agitations are very clearly looking towards that end. The second is, I think, also important is to see that the ambassador has met the elected representative of Jammu and Kashmir, and it was a very, very good, I think, engagement and talk which has happened. And I will rather look at to the conversation and the statement of the chief minister, who said very clearly that our internal issues of our country doesn't have to be discussed and problems would be taken to other countries. When you look at these two combined with the visit of Sergio Gor and his statement, let's look at the part which is larger issue. I don't think America has ever come out so in so many terms, except for trying an attempt, and Trump is the only exception, where he said he's likely to try and resolve an issue, and he was wanted to get nominated for Nobel Prize and possibly use Pakistan as a tool in this imbroglio which was happening with Iran. And that attachment and brotherhood came about only for those couple of months during that Iran war was happening, and it was not there before in any case. So when you look at all this, there's a clear shift in stance of even Trump, because this gentleman, Sergio Gor, is his personally selected nominee to the region. Right. And which is not very convenient to us, by the way, to an India. As an ambassador, to be focused on to India, but when he's added to South Asia and Central Asia Republic, there is a whole sense of responsibility as a political appointee. So this statement which has come out is clearly cleared from the top. And they don't give two head to what is
Raja Faisal, respond to that. Let me get in a response from Raja Faisal. Raja Faisal, this is Trump's hand-picked diplomat, Sergio Gor, someone very close to President Trump, who would not make this statement, being responsible for the entire region unless he was fully conscious of what he was saying. It's a huge slap in the face of Pakistan.
Well, first of all, Lieutenant General Pandey, he has every right to, of course, claim whatever he has been claiming, because he has served in Srinagar as a GOC stationed at Srinagar. I think he's a good servant to India itself, and he served himself, brilliantly out there for his country. But overall, when it comes to, diplomatic terms, sometimes there are slippages, and very next day, there are clarifications. I'm waiting for that clarification. And I'm hoping that when that clarification comes from the American side, you would do another show, and I'll appear in that show, and then we will discuss about that clarification. Overall,
of course, we can do that, but meanwhile, you can keep waiting and keep hoping. Nothing stops you. I can't stop you from hoping. Man survives on hope eternal. But Dr. Ranganathan, how significant is this shift? One has to come into the simple fact that, all the attempts at buttering up Trump, whether it's offering crypto, whether it's offering a Nobel Peace Prize, all of that seems to have, at the end of the day, with a failed negotiation with Iran, seems to have fallen by the wayside. It's not impressing anyone anymore.
Madhav, that might well be true, but I think in this case, I would possibly, against my grain, I would possibly agree with Mr. Raja Faisal, because Trump, is a person whom I would trust as much as I would trust Dracula at a blood donation camp. The fact of the matter is that today he says something, tomorrow he will say exactly the opposite, and then people will be wondering what happened in 24 hours. But this much I also want to add. It's not about Pakistan anymore. I think one of the great successes of Narendra Modi in the last, 7 or 8 years is to have completely dissociated Indian way of thinking and psyche from Pakistan. It doesn't matter to us. Good luck to it. We don't mean ill to it, but good luck to it. We don't care about it. What I care about is the following, that howsoever little I trust Trump, it is more than I trust our own Kashmiri leaders. And I'll give you proof of it. I would possibly, because they speak the language of Pakistan. You don't believe me? You look at what Farooq Abdullah said in the wake of just before 370 abrogation. He said, Allah ye chahega कि हम अलग हो जाए इंडिया से. He wanted China to intervene. This is the language of Pakistan. Omar Abdullah called Burhan Wani the terrorist a youth icon. He was the one who said हम अफजल गुरु को फांसी नहीं देते. Mehbooba Mufti said rivers of blood would flow. We are a Muslim majority state और हमें अलग हो जाना चाहिए. These are the statements that Pakistanis would be proud of. So forget about Trump and me trusting Trump. I don't trust people on our side. That's the problem, and that's why I say
there is a problem. There is a problem with in Jammu and Kashmir. There are certain political leaders whose stance, of course, has been quite controversial. As you rightly put it, several rounds of condemnation that have come in, particularly from the rural party as far as those leaders are concerned. But let me bring in Atikur Rahman. I hope your line is better now. But why has this all failed? The attempt to mollycoddle Trump's family with a crypto deal, the attempt to offer a Nobel Prize, being wined and dined there in Washington, D.C., none of that seems to have moved, or even the negotiation with Iran, which subsequently failed, none of that has moved the United States.
Madhav, I'm from academia, and I advise you to avoid generalizing the relationship between two countries. So there are a number of complications, there are a number of, concerns from the both sides, but you cannot just pick one thing and generalize the entire paradigm of the. See, you people are having the relation with the United States, and what kind of, ups and downs you people have witnessed, what kind of allegation you receive. So you cannot generalize the relationship.
Of course, I have no hesitation in admitting there have been ups and downs. But are you admitting this is a down then? You are admitting this is a down for Pakistan?
No, I'm not admitting. I'm not admitting. You are just.
Then what is your argument?
I just said initially that let the clarification come. Then after. The argument is
Atikur Rahman, what you've done in POK, where elections are going on, over 110 people have been killed. Your ability or your governments, which has completely collapsed, which are ruling completely by the law of the gun, that is available across the world. That is seen across the world what you're doing in POJK, what you're doing in Balochistan, where you're using the Air Force, probably the only country in the world that uses the Air Force against its own population. The whole world is watching you.
Madhav, I salute you the way you are exaggerating the things and the way you are connecting the dots.
Were F-16s not used in Balochistan?
Yeah, exaggerating.
F-16s used in Balochistan, yes or no?
The odd connection. Yes
or no?
Connection you are making. On the one hand, you are asking Pakistan's relation with the US. On the other hand, you are asking.
Exactly, because your government has completely collapsed. You have no control over the left flank or the right flank. Let me bring in General Pandey now on this. General Pandey, Pakistan is a picture of complete chaos. Whether it comes to POJK, whether it comes to Balochistan, at the end of the day, the picture that Pakistan paints is not a very pretty one.
Yeah, of course, that I don't have to comment. I think is quite visible to the Pakistanis themselves. There is a problem, and I think they recognize this problem. They refer to either subdue the population through force or through various means has been ongoing for some time. But I think the current condition, but I'll like to restrict this conversation to what is happening between America, Pakistan perception and about India. I think one thing people should realize that our view vis-a-vis engagement to America has been quite constant. India has not allowed itself to be used as a leverage or as a tool in the geopolitics for whatever reason. Of course, somebody may say that you were told not to buy Russian oil. There were issues of tariff. Yes, of course, those challenges is not only restricted to us. These are issues which are restricted to the entire world, including China and everybody.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that we are not playing ball, actually sucking up to in a public platform to Trump.
Absolutely. And I think that clearly defines the difference between India and Pakistan. I think it's there for all to see. I'm sorry I'm interrupting because we're completely out of time. Dr. Anand Ranathan, Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, Atikur Rahman and Raja Faisal, thanks so much for joining us this evening.